told by the doctor, you have only a few years to live, but she could survive it. And I show you this case for the class. And secondly, this is lung cancer. Then secondly, that is a case I studied. My own student in HSU, Happy Science University. And after she joined us as a member, the students of Happy Science, she recovered miraculously. And I will show you her testimony. Please enjoy listening to this. Then, thirdly, some of you are expecting the meditation, don't you? Yeah. So that please enjoy, but be patient until, say, I finish all my talk. Yeah. But this meditation, which is called meditation of melting golden butter, is miraculous. So that see what happens, yeah, after you put yourself into this meditation. So, but this will come at the very last. So be patient please until then. Then my session will end about 2 hours, less than 2 hours. But I will do an optional case, optional program to give you a Q&A session. So those of you who wish to ask your own personal matters, please remain. Do not go away. Okay? So let's start my talk. Okay, first introduction. Okay, you know who he is? Master Okawa, yes. So he is my master, and everybody's master. And for us, he is an enlightened one. Yeah, Buddha. Yeah, because he wrote lots of books which is very great for us to learn first. When you practice this, you can make you happy, make yourself very happy, and you overcome any difficulties you encounter in your life. So we call him a Buddha. See, but at the same time, for us, he is a great savior that he can rescue all the humanity. So that's the reason why he is here on October 6th. So do not forget to sign up to participate in the session. Well, main reason for me to come here is to give you how great he is, the impression. So please sign up your sheet, please. Okay, say then that today's talk is what we call laws of the mind. Master Okawa teaches us how to restore your health and live a happy life using laws of the mind. That is my talk. So when you get sick, well, I used to be a research scientist in the medical field. So in that sense, I was a natural scientist. But for some reason, I switched my field from physical science or medical science to spiritual science. So all of my talk is related on your mindset, heart and mind is my topics. So as a man who used to belong to the field of medicine, I have a great respect to the advancement of the medical science. So we do not deny at all the greatness of the effect of the medical science. Well, lots of medicine, lots of illness could become curable because of the advancements, which was the medical science. But nonetheless, when you take up the number of the patients, name of the patients who are suffering from illness, did it decrease? No, it's increasing. Yeah, how come? Thanks to the medical science advancement, but still, there are many illnesses which is uncurable. So what I want to share with you today is that not focusing only on the physical aspects of your being, but put more insight into your spiritual being. That is my talk. First, this picture I use. I do not intend to insult you, but this using picture is more better way of expressing something. Okay, so my Japanese way of introduce oneself is good afternoon. My name is Jiro Imai, pointing my physical body. Okay. But pointing my physical body does not necessarily mean that my physical body is me. But my soul, who lives inside of my physical body, is real me. Do you agree? Wonderful. Okay, but you see, today's medical science focuses too much on this aspect and ignoring almost 100% this portion. So that's the story I have to share with you. So when you take a look at, see this hard part, you have heart or mind in this portion, your chest, you see, when you focus more exactly, it's like a onion-like structure. See, so you have what we call surface consciousness and subconscious. And the very depths in your heart or mind, you have what we call divine nature or Buddha nature. That is a part which you connect yourself to Buddha or God, yeah, depending on your religious denomination. But you see, you know what I mean. Something divine do exist in your heart. So I am from Japan, but when you go to, for example, Thailand or perhaps Vietnam, people put their hand together and showing back to you. Yeah? Why? Because they knew that something precious do reside inside of your chest. Yeah? So take a bow to the Buddha who are living inside of you. Yeah? That is what we call Buddha nature. Now this part has a kind of invisible channel which connects you to heaven. I mean, Supreme Being, Creator, Buddha, Primordial God, whatever way you name it. Okay, that is a very source. You cure your illness because you have a spring in your heart through which that channel, the light of God will flow into you. Light of Buddha will flow into you. So today's topics, what I'm talking about, those of the mind, is to teach you how to make that inner light come through the channel and cure yourself. Okay? So believe that it is not doctor nor medicine who cures you. It is you yourself, or your faith which cures you. Do you agree? Great. Yeah. Obvious? Certainly. Okay. Let me show you this animation. This animation shows you very well how we connect each other. How each and everybody connects each other. So let's watch the video.
It has been explained that there are both surface consciousness and subconscious in our mind. However, the core of our subconscious mind extends further to the world beyond. separate, independent beings. But in fact, the cores of our subconscious minds are all connected to the multi-dimensional universe. It is very similar to a bamboo shoot. Each bamboo shoot on the ground seems to be independent, but under the ground they are all connected with other bamboo shoots. Likewise, we humans look quite independent, but in fact, we are all connected to the multidimensional universe and to God, the parent of our soul. Energy of light flows into our heart from God, which is called spiritual flow. Each of us has a separate and distinct character, which represents one aspect of God. The meaning of faith is to acknowledge and understand this truth, and to realize that the love of God pours into us. With strong faith, power from a higher dimension can work in us, and illness may be cured. Furthermore, in the depths of our hearts, we are connected to other people who are also a part of God. Each of us is not a separate entity, but we are all one. Especially, we are connected with deep ties to our Dharma friends of the same faith. Through the bond of faith, the power of prayers of Dharma friends flows into the depths of the sick person's heart and serves as a power to create miracles.
Okay. Did you like it? It's easy to understand. So we are all spiritually connected through God or Buddha. Okay. So because you are connected to God or Buddha, through God or Buddha, we are all connected. So, hello again, my friends. We are all brothers and sisters, regardless of your race, the country you belong to, or age, whatsoever. We are all friends. So that's the reason I ask you to shake hands with your neighbors. We are all connected. That is very important thing. Okay. Then this is a very important feature I want to share with you. Excuse
me. It has been explained.
So this is explaining what it's all about, what the laws of the mind is all about. This is an excerpt from the one the master's lecture book. With almost no exception, we all have the ability to create illness. It is as if you all possess half the power of God. If you are able to create illness, we must be able to cure illness through the same ability. That means that we have an ability to create illness. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. But at the same time, you can create illness, but don't know how you can heal illness. That is what you want to learn today, isn't it? Right? So that is the manner I want to share with you today. Okay. So let me show you two examples, case studies, which we see what we call miraculous recovery from illness. The first case is a senior lady by the name of Hiroko Nakashima, who suffered from first breast cancer, and then the cancer spread to her lung. And she was 63 years old when she suffered from that illness. But first, let me show you the Master Lecture's lecture, Master Okawa's lecture, The True Cause of Cancer. Let's watch.
Illness must be looked at objectively. You must ask yourself, why has this happened? Why have I become sick now? In this book, it is written that cancer is caused from an aggressive heart or by self-punishing thoughts. That's the truth. However, this does not necessarily mean that evil people will get cancer and good people will not. Good people tend to overexert themselves. They exert themselves because they are good people. They ask too much of themselves. They take on too much, totally overdoing it. They don't take time off since they are good people. They do what is asked of them and push themselves too far. Before they know it, their self-destructive thoughts have built up and attempt to bring them down. They won't stop until they collapse. There are some who have been able to work for decades more, but push themselves too hard and collapse. So simply placing people into the categories of good or bad is too naive. There is more to it than that. After all, you will become sick when you have failed at the management of your mind and body. Concerning the aggression I have just mentioned, if you hold continual strong hatred or grudges against others, sometimes the object of your hatred will succumb to sickness, but sometimes the feelings won't go to your object, and instead return to you, making you sick. So you need to consider carefully. If it only ends up making you sick, all that hatred is pointless, isn't it? Although you're transmitting ill thoughts, wanting to knock somebody down, your target remains fine, and instead it all comes back onto you, making you sick. When you understand hatred isn't worth it if you end up having cancer, then you should stop having these negative emotions. If you don't stop holding grudges against people, transmitting waves of anger, your own health may suffer. Simply to protect yourself, it is necessary to negate these waves of blame directed at others. In addition, there is the problem of self-punishment. This is the main cause of sickness among religious people like you. You tend to punish yourselves. You can't forgive yourselves as you think you've done something wrong. You can't forget your past failures as well as the sins that you've committed against others. They build up over the years and eventually turn into a nest of sickness. Of course, there are physical causes such as drink, food, smoking, that lead to sickness. But the reason behind this is a problem of the mind, of the heart. About 70% of them are related to psychological problems, which means the treatment of the mind could cure 70% of illness. In particular, among cancers, are breast and uterine cancer. Cancers that occur in those areas, particularly to women. These are mainly caused by marital problems. In particular, when the husband cheats and doesn't come home, or when he has a girlfriend outside of the marriage, a strong wife may be able to beat this down and bring him around. In that case, the problem is settled without going as far as cancer. But if the wife is not strong enough to do this, her feeling of chagrin and regret will gradually build up. Then it generally leads to illness like breast or uterine cancer. The reason that this occurs in those female areas is because when the wife attacks her husband and fails to overcome him, her attack is turned back on herself. She blames her own female sex or basic nature as a woman. That is why sickness appears in those places. In just a few months, cancer, tumours, or something like that will appear. In this way, as well as blaming herself, the wife is, in reality, trying to make her husband repent by making herself sick. She wants to make him regret what he's done. The wife gets breast or uterine cancer and uses that to blame him. She is saying to her husband, "It's because of you that I've become sick. I will haunt you if I die, she says, threatening him. She wants her husband to come home early and look after her. She makes herself sick in order to make him repent. This is never done by surface consciousness, but by the subconscious. These are the reasons behind many such illnesses. At times like this, the feeling that I'll make my sickness even worse and make him pay is certainly at work. But if she wants to heal her condition, she needs to work towards reconciliation. Therefore, if you blame him too much, you need to rethink things, reflect upon the flaws in yourself, and praise the good parts in him that you haven't looked at before. This will make him much nicer to you. He's running away because you're blaming him. If you stop this blame and start to repent, he will come back to you. The blaming thoughts of a wife like, he doesn't come home or he's cheated, are actually pretty harsh. That's why the husband runs away and ends up in places like bars that he doesn't really want to go to. He's simply avoiding the issue. So, if she were kinder to him, then he would come back to her. I know this might be hard, but to restore harmony, you need to look back over yourself too. And remember how you felt when you were newlyweds. And try to start over again. Then your partner changes almost instantly, so please experience this. It's far better than getting sick and dying. You can start over as many times as you need in your life, so stop getting angry with your partner, bringing up trifling matters that happened 10 or 20 years ago. Instead, try to limit the damage and restore a good relationship. Among women, illnesses related to the worries over family are very common. Besides the problems related with the opposite sex, a sickness of the uterus can also be caused by worries about children. This is because the uterus is the place from which one's children were born. So if the mother worries about her children having many problems, this leads to, there must be something wrong with me. My own primitive functionality as a woman is bad. And as she starts to blame herself, this comes out as a sickness of the uterus or something similar. So you need to be aware that humans indeed have the power to create illness. Once you know the reason, you need to look at things in the light of changing your life by changing your thought and work towards that goal.
Okay, did you enjoy? Thank you so much. Well, what a speech. Well, this lecture, what he pointed out, that the cause of cancer is not carcinogenic agent, nor UV light, or radioactive material. But your thought in your mind will make you suffer from tumor or cancer. That was so shocking truth, which hit my mind when I was a research scientist in medical field, as I mentioned earlier. But I lost all my concern, interest in developing a new medicine to cure cancer. I used to find out the substance which is produced by fungus to control your immunity, selective immunity, to potentiate the immunity to attack only the cancer cells, but leaving behind unattached the normal cells. That was the kind of work I was doing. You see, when I was exposed to this fact that the cancer, that cause of the cancer is not physical, but spiritual, or psychological, or mental. So I changed my mindset from exploring further to the physical aspect of the cancer, cause of the cancer, but spiritual cause. And then perhaps I can share with you how to cure it by changing your mindset a bit to that right direction. So I'm not saying, I'm not denying the medical science who cure you by perhaps chemotherapy or surgery or radio waves, X-ray. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that unless you change, explore your mind thoroughly, and discover the cause of your mindset or the thought, and try to change it, the illness will come again. Even if you remove the tumor or cancer from your organ, it will come up again, perhaps transmigrate to some other parts of your organ. So that's what I'm saying. So let's find out, and I show you the list of the cause of illness, what the master told in his lecture. You see, he says, ill thoughts manifest itself in your physical body. So, for example, many of you are working. It used to work in a company or organization. Then, suppose you have somebody, some supervisor, whom you hate. You hate him or her, but you cannot express it explicitly because you are under him. You'll be fired if you say anything critical. So you hide your negative emotion depths in your heart. Yeah? Then it will become a nest of the sickness. And it will manifest itself in your physical body. So, let's see why the mind creates illness. The first cause was ill thought that harm others. It's a blaming thought, which is addressed to somebody else. Okay? For example, anger, hatred, resentment, jealousy, things like this. Or perhaps curse. Curse is a strong word, very terrifying. But this is a kind of thing which you exert yourself against somebody else. But other theme he shared, he mentioned at the same time, not only bad people, but also honest people or pious people like yourself may sometimes suffer from illness. For what? Because this person tend to be very diligent, very honest, and too serious. That one, if you cannot fulfill somebody else's request, you feel guilty. Don't you come strong tendency? Yeah. So that is what we call self-punishment, self-tormenting thought, self-denial. This sort of mentality have very high risk for you to develop cancer. So be very careful. So the reason why self-denial means that I'm no good. I'm no good. I'm not worth living. Right. So the ill thought against somebody else means that it will come back to you like a boomerang. You know what boomerang is? The Aborigine, Australian, throw the boomerang to hit the game, kangaroo. But what if you miss it? It comes back to you. Yeah? So when you try to harm others, it will eventually come back to you. So that's the reason why it is harmful to have ill thought against somebody else. Okay? Are you okay? Having this, not having this. Okay. You got to just carefully examine your mind whether or not you have this sort of negative emotion against somebody else, or some negative emotion against yourself. Self-tormenting thoughts, too much feeling of guilt. Yeah, that is very risky too. Okay, harming So let's share with you one of our devotee member of Happy Science, who I recorded this. Look at this year. Year 2002. It's 17 years ago. 17 years ago. Yeah. Right. So let's enjoy listening to her speech.
You may have heard similar stories. The conflict between my mother-in-law and me became more and more complicated. On the surface, I was pretending to be a daughter-in-law who was enduring the ordeal. But my mind was filled with hatred toward her. And as a result, I got breast cancer. And it was almost too late to cure it. I had surgery, and while I was in the hospital, the cancer spread to my lung too. I was in the hospital for a while, but I wanted to go home, so I left the hospital. During the day, I was able to manage, but at night, or when I was feeling sick, I was driven by fear of death. At that time, my friend's husband gave me books of spiritual messages written by Master Okawa. I kept reading them. And when I read the spiritual messages by noble men of the Meiji Restoration and saw how different their personalities were, I came to the realization that there was another world. The terror of death disappeared. My mind became brighter. And instead of being pushed over a cliff and into darkness, I thought that I might be able to see my old friends again. And I started feeling joyful. It was about that time when my mother-in-law, who is past 90 years old, could no longer get up from bed. I was still recovering from cancer. So my husband was thinking about sending her to a nursing home. But I realized that it was my fault, that I had conflicts with my mother-in-law. I insisted on taking care of her. More than anything else, my son is the only son. And if his mother and grandmother, that he loves very much, were to leave this world with hatred toward each other, I thought he would feel miserable in the future. So getting along with his grandmother would be an inheritance that I would be leaving for him. No matter how bad a relationship is, when you reflect on yourself and make an effort to correct your mistakes, you can rebuild it. I wanted to teach my son to trust human relationships. I started taking care of her every day. Until then, I thought that a person's worth was in how much love you received from others. Since I started studying the teachings of Happy Science, I realized that a person's worth was in how much love you could give to others. I realized that my view was completely wrong, and that my mother-in-law played an important role in my spiritual training to see how much kindness I could give. So I decided to take care of her. One day, she was in a bad mood, and she said, "I hate you, go away." Actually, when she told me that before, I got furious and thought, what a person she is. She's being taken care of and still says such a thing. I had hatred towards her. But at that time, I said to her, even if you hate me, I love you very much. It just came out naturally. My mind wasn't shaken at all. Right after I said it, I thought, what a great thing I could say. I was able to feel the happiness of changing myself vividly. No matter what happens, I was only concerned about how I could make her happy. One day, I went for a regular health check, and the shadow over my lungs was gone. The doctor at the hospital said, "Wow!" He was truly surprised. I had been told that I had only several years to live. He said, "There's no more shadow." As for me, I was cured. So I never went back to the hospital. I no longer had fear. Because the doctor told me I was cured. I was cured. I had no doubts at all. Since then, I took care of her for 6 years. She died peacefully as a candle light goes out. At the beginning, she was very scared of dying. She told me she didn't want to die and asked me to be next to her. But I told her, there is a world after death, and Grandpa is going to come to meet you. If you're that scared, I'll come with you. Because I thought I was dying too. But please wait until Noriyuki, our son, grows up. Please try your best. I'll try my best too. 1 month before her death, she told me she had a dream of Grandpa. So I thought that she's going to leave this world soon. I asked her, "Looks like it is about time to go. Should I come with you?" And she told me, "I don't need you to come with me, because Grandpa's waiting for me. You'll be bothering us. You have to come with your own husband." We were able to build such a good relationship. Thank you very much.
Well, she's a very good presenter. Well, probably you knew the point, right? So she changed her mindset very drastically from somebody who is blaming other people to somebody who are caring other people, especially to her mother-in-law. But can you imagine that if you do something good to some of your friends, if the man or woman who was given this love didn't say anything thanks to you, how do you feel? What of you? What a man, what a woman. But if you think so, perhaps you are not understanding the real meaning of love. Love is something which you give without expecting anything in return. See, if you accept some words of appreciation from your friends, perhaps it is not very genuine love. See, but because she got cancer and suffered from the pain, she could aware the real love is love without expecting anything in return. That we call love that gives. Love that gives. That is very important. Okay, let me show you one aspect that what she learned. What we learned from the Hiroko's testimony is that, she used to disbelieve the life after death. Do you believe in life after death? Many, okay. Some of you don't. But this is truth, that life after death, the world beyond, do exist. And because she read the Master Oka's book, but she read a lot of spiritual messages, she became convinced with the existence of life after death. That is the very reason she lost her fear to death. So fear of death was gone from her heart. That is one reason why she's cured her lung cancer. So if you, please imagine, if you are terrified in a situation, you're terrified by something, don't you think you cannot breathe? Yeah? So lung is the main organ who sustains your life, right? So if you are terrified, you cannot breathe. So that the first organ, you have a negative shadow in your soul. So after she learned from the master, she could believe in the life after death. That is one lesson we can learn from Hiroko. The other one is that she once believed your worth is determined by the amount of love you are given. Yeah? How much amount you are given determines your worth. But it's wrong. Yeah? That's what the lady said. The amount of love you gave determined your value, the worth. So that, since she learned from this truth, from the book of Master Okawa, she changed drastically her mindset. See? And no matter how nasty word she was given from her mother-in-law, she became very patient and tried to forgive her and tried to give her good words instead of nasty words and nurture her. You know, she's a grand old lady, so until she passed away. So at the very last of her life, her the life, she said goodbye. You see, I don't need you anymore. Grandpa is waiting for me. See, it's very, very happy ending. Okay. So what I want to share with you today is that, you know, the reason why she could cure herself was, firstly, she made a big self-reflection or changing mindset. She changed her mindset so drastically. And first she knew her mindset. And what is the shortcoming she bear now? So that she discovered the shortcoming. That is one thing. The second thing she did is the practice of love that gives to her mother-in-law. Okay? So having self-reflection and as well as practicing love that gives. That is a very big secret which God gave her miracles, miraculous cure. Are you with me? Okay. So let's move on to the second case, which I learned from my own student. She suffered from what we call eating disorder or bulimia. Do you know what bulimia is? Yeah, that is very serious disease. Okay. But she could recover from it. And the one important thing, one important information I want to share with you is that she is not only suffering from bulimia, but also she has a kind of schizophrenia together with symptoms. So that becomes your sickness more serious. So before you showing you the testimony, let me show you another lecture of Master. Miracle healing power. Let's watch.
Miracle healing power. You have already learned
that a human being is not just the flesh that you see with your eyes, but actually a multi-structured spiritual being residing in the physical body. Examine this structure closely, and you will find in the kernel a divine part that is very close to God or Buddha. The outer layers that surround the kernel, like an onion, progressively become more human-like. The outermost layer of this spiritual structure is called the astral body. The astral body is shaped exactly like the human form, with eyes, nose, eyebrows, heart, liver, kidney, and other organ consciousnesses. A soul shaped exactly like the body resides inside. I'm not denying medical science. I am merely talking about what is at the root of it. It may sound strange, but there are many cases today in which what was once curable has become incurable now, because people no longer believe in the world beyond. Inside of ourselves is a shining core, which is the true nature of us as children of God or Buddha. If this shining part of us strongly determines to heal and recover the damaged area in the astral body, it will start to heal itself. When the astral body is fully repaired, the corresponding physical body will follow. Human beings are in fact the spirit residing in the body. The figure in this world is really just a shadow. So change the plan of the design, and we will see the change in this world. Unless you abandon the idea that you are a mere thing like a car, and therefore cannot change yourself, you will not benefit from the curing power of religion. The true essence of the human being is the spirit. The change in your spirit will cause a change in your body. At the very least, your attitude is revealed in your physical appearance. Your personality will gradually seep out into your physical looks. Spiritual possession by evil spirits is actually quite prevalent as well. It seems that almost 70% of all diseases are affected by evil spirits. When possessed by someone who died of disease, you will show the same symptoms as that person. There are diseases that occur in a particular family. One could call it genetic, but they are actually a form of cultural genetics. The same symptoms are often manifested to a descendant possessed by an ancestor who is spiritually ignorant. There are common methods to remove evil spirits. Basically, if your mind is purified and corrected, they will be gone. Incurable or strange diseases are very often connected to spiritual possession. When your doctor says that your illness is incurable or the hospital gives up on you, then it is time for happy science to step in. If the hospital can cure it, then it should be left to the hospital. We will handle the ones that the hospitals can't cure. If your disease can't be cured at the hospital, use the power of faith to cure it. If you are meant to be healed, you will be healed. If you really understand the teachings of happy science, no disease is incurable. What happy science must do as a whole is to establish a spiritual field of faith. Then I believe more miracles will occur. My talk today is recorded on DVD, and it will be shown later at various other temples. I wish to say that this talk will also be effective to those who watch the DVD later. Please watch it many times so you understand it fully.
Very interesting lecture about the structure of our soul. Let me show you. I said at the very beginning of taught that the human mind has a strong power to realize oneself. Do you agree with this? Yeah. Okay. And so the reason why is that, we are all children of God or children of Buddha. So you have the same power as God has. That is very fundamental of our understanding of our healing power, innate healing power. Okay, as I mentioned here, this is the structure of your mind and heart, and this is the show I show you twice. But see, when you see this heart, soul, it looks like a shining ghost-like being here. But it's very simplified. But when you take this soul more closely, it has more subtle structure. You have physical body, and overlapping this, you have astral body. And overlapping this, you have spiritual body, and light body, and blah, blah, blah. We have many subtle structures. Okay, so it is overlapping like this. Okay, so when you die, see, your physical body perish, gone. But you still have astral body. And astral body and your physical body has a striking resemblance. You cannot distinguish one after another. Okay? So suppose you die, you're gone, but you don't know because you don't believe the life after death. When you die, everything will be finished. Everything is gone. Nothing remains. That's what you believe. But when you take a look at your body, you feel like you are still alive because you're looking at astral body, which is very resembling to the astral body. So you confuse like you are still living. See, and but you see, since you have no physical body, it's different stories comes up because I need help of Hide. Hide, please bring your chair with you and climb up to the stage. So please have a seat here. See, in physical world, three-dimensional world, if this chair is taken by Hide, I cannot sit on this, right? If I to sit, I sit like this. Yeah? We cannot overlap him. Yeah? Because in this world, two individuals can occupy only one place. Not two individuals can occupy one place, right? But what if I die? What if I die and become astral body, which we usually call ghost? Yeah? If I become a ghost or stray soul or lost soul, yeah, I can be with you. Okay? That is what we call possession, spiritual possession. So inside of one person's physical body, two souls reside. Okay, that is possession. But for this, we need assumption. We need a condition. That is, you have to have to have this sort of situation. You need to have the one particular features, which is called the law of same wavelength attraction. That means if you are able to be with him, I need to have a similar personality, a characteristics. In other words, similar mind vibration. Okay, so if he is a very, angry man. I need to be angry man. Yeah? So angry man together. Friends. Okay? So that is the law of the same wavelength attraction. So that is where the haunting or the possession starts. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So if in case that if you go to a hospital, for example, yeah, if you see somebody who are in hospital to see him and say hello to her, don't go too often, because the hospital is a place where many ghosts or stray spirit is roaming. Okay. So if you have some similar or same shortcomings as the deceased one, maybe you carry your friends with you back home. Yeah? So don't take this. Yeah? So that is the position it's all about. So this is my student, 2.5 years ago. So she suffered from bulimia and had a symptom of what we call schizophrenia. I mean, auditory hallucination. You know what auditory hallucination is? You hear somebody is whispering to you. Yeah? She suffered very heavily. And she was hospitalized 3 times and suffered, but she encountered the teaching of happy science. And she was given a Dharma, which called the Dharma of the right mind. Okay, I explain it later. But first, listen to Yui Sakito's testimony.
I'm Yui Sakito in the Faculty of Human Happiness of HSU. Today, I wish to share my experience on how I overcame my illness. After graduating from high school, I got an illness called bulimia. While overeating and vomiting all day long, I lost so much weight and finally weighed only 26 kilos, about 57 pounds. Then I started to have auditory hallucinations, and for some period of time, I lost my true self. Since both of my parents were working, they thought it was not good to leave me alone at home, because I had gone too far. Thus my parents decided I should be hospitalized. As I suffered from mental illness, it was anticipated that I might flush the food down the toilet if I were not put under the supervision of nurses. So I was restrained on the bed and my hospital room was locked. I had to stay there in such a condition for a couple of months. That's why I was once discharged, but since the fundamental issue of my mind was not solved yet, I had to go back to the hospital again. I was hospitalized 3 times. During the second hospitalization, I really lost myself. I tried to escape from the hospital, but I was caught, and I experienced the isolation and physical restraint again and again. At that time, I heard a whisper like, "Vomit, vomit," or "Go shopping today to buy food." I was really controlled by an evil spirit. The mental hospital I was in did not allow the patients to bring in anything from outside. I managed to get permission from a doctor to keep a copy of the Dharma of the Right Mind on my bedside. As my arms were not restrained, I could freely recite the Dharma of the Right Mind all day long. When I recited the Dharma, my heart filled with gratitude, thinking, Lord, I really thank you. I recited the Dharma while thinking, I am really receiving light from the Lord. Then the auditory hallucination of vomit, vomit gradually became weaker and weaker. And when I was liberated from my restraints, I said a prayer for about 2 hours every morning, noon, and night. Other patients around me were all saying that they are desperate. They worried about their future and were talking about how they could receive welfare. If it had not been for the Dharma of the Right Mind, I could have lost faith in God. My family didn't have faith in God. Therefore, I had no idea what faith is or what God is. My naive understanding of God is something that can help me when I am in need. Although I felt that I became a really different person, it was not until I learned here at HSU the real power of this Dharma that I was fully convinced how strong an effect that the Dharma had on expelling evil spirits. Did you visit Tokyo Shoshinkan after some time to meet staff and friends there? Yes, I saw them and they said, you have changed so much and become strong. You have put on weight. I used to hate being told that I had gained weight. This time, however, I didn't feel so and could say, thank you. Then I wondered why I was not bothered at all. The reason why I hated being told I had gained weight before was that I wanted others to be concerned about my skinniness. I wanted them to ask if I was okay. I came to realize that I wanted others to have sympathy and that I desired others to feel pity for my skinny body. That's the reason why I was reluctant to gain weight and become strong. Then I accepted that I shouldn't want others to worry about me or have sympathy for me. When I was praying in the prayer hall of HSU, I suddenly discovered that students around me have ordinary physical bodies, and yet they are loved by God. Then I apologized to God, saying, I'm sorry. Tears just flowed from my eyes, and I felt like I was receiving a message from God. I felt like God was saying, you are wonderful just the way you are. Since then, I'm now able to try eating a variety of foods like rice and meat. At Christmas dinner, I ate grilled chicken, and now I can eat fish too. From now on, for the 3 years, I plan to attend all classes diligently, without being late. And after graduating from HSU, I wish to go abroad to spread this truth to some corners of the world. I want to become a channel for the Lord so Master's teachings can flow through me. Thank you very much.
She is a niece of the member of Happy Science who live in Australia. And she was introduced from that aunt to Happy Science teaching and was advised to recite the Dharma of the Right Mind. Dharma of the Right Mind is a this is a book of the Untitled prayer book of a sutra, main fundamental sutra. And she was okay. She was given a permission from the authority of the hospital to bring it and keep it with her on the bedside. And she recited repeatedly the Dharma again and again and again until she hear no more the auditory hallucination. So that means that this Dharma has a strong power to get rid of evil spirits who haunt her. And before we get into this deeply, I just want to share with you the points of her points of illness, how she was get rid of her cure from illness. First one, one reason, very reason why she attracted her evil spirits was the greed or self-pity. She wanted to be concerned by somebody else. More particularly, she wanted to be loved by her mother or father. Can you guess what I'm saying? Yeah. So she wants to receive more love. She wants to be loved more by her parents by making her sin. Do you understand this mentality? You see, if you want to be loved more, attachment, yeah, she has a strong attachment. Greed, that is a very difficult issue. We have difficulty doing this. But she realized that was the real cause of her illness. That is one thing. One particular lessons we want to learn from her experience. Secondly, and I asked her, okay, this is to listen. Do you see the difference of the expression of her? I reported about 1 month ago. She became beautiful. Yeah? And I asked her, on what occasion did you start hearing the auditory hallucination? And her answer, please listen here.
Regarding my auditory hallucination, I think it happened when I had self-tormenting thoughts as a reaction to blaming others. Once I had such self-tormenting thoughts, it escalated into feelings like I'm no good, I'll die, I'm desperate. Then all of a sudden, I started to hear auditory hallucination. Were you blaming your parents? Yes, I blamed mainly my mom. For some reason, I always felt like I'm blamed and attacked by my mom. I didn't know on what aspect of me she was blaming, but I just felt so. She was working all day, so she must have felt very tired from time to time. Therefore, her frustration was not necessarily aimed at me. It was quite natural for her to feel so tired or get frustrated. In that situation, however, I had a tendency to perceive one-sidedly that she was blaming or angry at me. I discovered that this tendency of mine was the cause of the problem.
Okay, so it is here that she said she first blamed her mother for the fact that she didn't love her enough. Okay, but when she had this thought, her consciousness blamed her in turn. Or you shouldn't have said that sort of thing. And she had a very strong self-tormenting thoughts because of that. On that very occasion, she started hearing auditory hallucination. You know what I mean? So the possession was caused by, first of all, greedy mind. It wants give me. That sort of mentality. And not only that, she has a blaming thought against her mother. That two poisons of mind, invites evil spirits to go with her. Okay? So, do you know the symptom of the bulimia? She heard whisper to her ears, "Go shopping." She told me that she has to buy a shopping bag full of foods and carry back to her home and start eating. When she filled her stomach, then hear the voice, vomit. This was repeated. Ridiculous. Yeah. But she suffered from this for years and years. But she could survive because of this. Okay. And another thing I want to share, so that I just want to share with you this. So self-pity and self-blaming thought called the spiritual position. Yeah. This sort of mentality invited the lost soul souls. Okay. And then anger, not only greed but also anger invited this position too. Okay, but what is important here is that, recitation of the Dharma of the right mind expelled the haunting evil spirit and protected her from position. That is very important aspect. See, the Dharma of the right mind, Master said, entire book was written through automatic writing. Therefore, the words of Buddha's teaching, the Dharma of the right mind, came directly from heaven. It's a revelation. It was written by revelation. This is why there is a light in the word of this sutra book, and its words have the strong spiritual power. So, recitation of this really, truly expel the haunting evil spirits. And the sutra book, this sutra book contains the main points of what I wish to teach you. After all is said, then the contents of this sutra book were what we want you to learn and understand. So, many of you have read Master Oka's book, didn't you? Yeah. So, did you like? Probably you do. Okay. So that it's a kind of essence book or summary book of his teaching. So when you read this, you can know the essence of what Master Oka is trying to say. So that's the reason why we have a strong spiritual power of recitation. So you'll be protected by the light of Buddha. When you read Dharma of the right mind, the light of Buddha falls from the heaven. And the light becomes a barrier and keeps the evil spirits away. So let's listen to Master Oka's lecture on this matter.
In fact, the Dharma of the right mind has a tremendous power. You can get rid of evil spirits not only by reciting this Dharma daily, but also by playing back my recitation recorded in the CD. It truly has an amazing effect to expel any evil spirit possessing someone. I once said that the Dharma of the right mind is around 10,000 times more effective than the Heart Sutra. This comment may sound a little offensive to those who value the Heart Sutra, but it is in fact true. Since the sutras of happy science are all written in modern language, possessing evil spirits understand its meaning when they listen to the Dharma. The person who recites the Dharma, of course, clearly understands what it means. Thus, it has a very strong effect. The Dharma of the right mind is also very effective against illnesses connected with spiritual possession. Probably 70 to 80% of illnesses are caused by spiritual possession. I don't know the precise figures, but it must be more than 2/3 of them. If the sickness is due to possession, most patients can be cured by the recitation of this Dharma. If you truly understand the truth written in the Dharma of the right mind, and undergo spiritual training of reciting it, most illnesses can be cured. If you are not strong enough on your own, you can go to the Happy Science Branch Temple or Choja and take Kigans or seminars. Generally, the illness will heal itself. while you undergo such spiritual discipline.
できました。こういうdiscourse.
In fact,
Okay. So this, she apologized to God. Remember, she said in her testimony that when she had before she had a misconception of God. So her very naive understanding of God is that God is somebody who helps you when you are in need. So to receive God's light or help, she thought she must be in miserable condition. But when she was praying in the prayer hall of Happy Science University, she realized that all her friends, classmates sitting beside her was healthy. But still they are receiving light and become very, very peaceful and happy. So at that moment she changed her mindset. Oh, I had a misconception that I don't need to be skinny or I don't need to be miserable in order to receive light from God. That is a third point of her realization. Are you with me? Okay. That is good. Okay. Then let me show you. This is now. She's very honestly enthusiasm, showing good volunteer spirit to help people in Nepal. So she very frequently, every holiday season, summer and spring vacation, she visited Nepal to help them. So look at the smiling faces and become very healthy. So that is, I think, I showed you the second evidence why we can make the miraculous recovery happens. Okay. So to summarize testimony, first, self-reflection to know your shortcomings. She realized her shortcomings. She have a greedy mind. Give me, give me, give me. Or self-pity. Secondly, she has a short temper or the blaming thought against somebody else. And self-torment thought against herself too. So these shortcomings was realized by her by undergoing these old procedures. But by learning the Buddha's truths in HSU, teaching of happy science, she could know what was wrong with it. What was wrong with this realization is very important. So not only learning the teaching of happy science, but you have to apply it to yourself to improve your personality. That is exactly what she did. But she did not only that, but she did a strong practice of love gifts. She participated in a very honest and enthusiastic participation to the volunteer work in Nepal. So not only having a self-reflection, but having a practice of the love that gives. That is a very reason, in my opinion, to make a miracle. Are you with me? Okay, thank you. So, my talk will be ending soon, and the session will start. So be patient. Okay. So first thing, tips to cure illness. First, self-reflection. Self-reflection. To examine your mind, whether or not you have some negative emotions in your mind. Okay. And secondly, you have to have a gratitude. Gratitude to your environments. Yeah? To whom you appreciate is that toward perhaps your mother or father, or a doctor or nurse, please have appreciation toward her or him. Okay. That is the second tips for the cure, to cure or to make a miracle happen. Then third was that discipline. Discipline is that you want to pay more attention to your lifestyle. Lifestyle means that do you keep your healthy lifestyle? When do you go to bed? Or how is your diet? Do you eat properly? Do you eat too much or drink too much? Or you smoke too much? You should avoid this sort of things which is bad for your health. So good discipline is of course one of the important to cure from illness. The third is a prayer. Prayer, as Yuri Sakiko did in her prayer room, she dedicated her prayer to Lord El Cantare. And please give me a healthy body with which I can serve more better to the Lord El Cantare for the well-being of other people. That is a prayer, contents of the prayer. So not only begging from God, please help me, please heal me. It's not the way she did. She asked Lord El Cantare, please make my health fully recover. With this good physical body, I can serve better to the humanity. So, that's all. I give you this question to you, all of you. Please ask yourself, don't you have a tendency to love sickness? Yeah? No? No way. Okay. I know your surface consciousness. No, say no. But you see that depth in your mind, maybe subconscious level, you seek illness to receive love, like Yui Sakiko. She said, of course, that who wish to become sick? Of course, the surface consciousness, but depth in your subconscious mind, you may be receiving, wanting love from others. Then you want to make yourself very miserable. You have to be in a shape which is looks very miserable. Then other people will pity you or sympathize you. That is what you want. So if you want to abandon this sort of what people love that takes, your illness will not be cured. So did I upset you? So that is please consider this possibility once. So to explore depths in your mind, not only superficial consciousness level, but depths in your mind. I will invite you to what we call Eightfold Path Seminar, which is very intensive seminar, which takes almost, say, 13 hours to go. Which started from 1 o'clock in the afternoon and ends 7 o'clock in the first day. Then you return and come back to the church, our church, Happy Science Temple, at 10 o'clock in the next day. And it ends at around 5 o'clock. So those who wish to delve into the depths of your heart, please participate. Everybody is welcome. The suggested donation is $100, plus the cost of the lunch will be covered. Okay, so that if you have, these are the name of the illness I once dealt with. perhaps from my students or the believers of the science too. So those of you who are interested in participation, please sign up your name. Okay, so finally, that is what you expected, right? So meditation of melting golden butter. This is very great. Okay? It takes about 12 minutes to go. But before you get into this meditation, let me tell you the very successful way to get deep into the meditation. Okay? That is what we call breathing concentration. See, this woman is not pregnant. But you imagine that you have a balloon in your abdomen. Okay? When you breathe in, inhale, you blow, inflate your abdomen. Would you straighten up your back, please? Okay. Good, good. And breathe in deeply, inflating your abdomen. Breathe in. Then breathe out, deflating out. Breathe in again. Breathe out, gently through your mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good, good. Okay. The reason why I suggest you to follow this instruction is that, when you breathe in, you inflate your abdomen. Yeah, you are stimulating this area, your intestine, tummy. Okay. Then what you expect is that this is sitting in a cross-legged posture, but you have a spiritual center. 3 spiritual centers altogether. First one is here, heart area, which has a function of instinct, sentiment, and intention. These functions were here in the heart part. But beside this heart part, you have the brain part. See the brain part? Which has a function of intelligence, or intellect, and reason. These 2 functions reside here. And you folks, using too much brain, head part, yeah, because you're watching the smartphone or the computer all day. Yeah? So you use too much this part. Okay? But by repeating this breathing concentration, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The center of your consciousness descends from here and gradually down to your belly, down to our belly. So we are stimulating the 3rd center, which we call solar chakra, or what we call spiritual wisdom, or simply intuition. Intuition. So if you wish to receive a message from heaven, or a message from your guardian spirit, please try this breathing concentration. Inflate, deflate. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay? Are you ready to go? Sorry to be patient this late today. Okay, let's try a bit of breathing concentration. So start breathing, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, continue for a while. Okay, thank you very much for your collaboration. How do you feel? Feeling good, huh? So it's very good to calm down your mind. Very good way. Please practice this and get used to it. Okay, then we wish to recite one prayer, which is called Prayer to Guardian and Guiding Spirit. So, who are they? Angels, your guardian angels, guardian spirits, is protecting you. Who are they? Devils or evil spirits, right? You don't want to keep them. You want to expel before you get into the meditation. Otherwise, your meditation will be interrupted by devils or evil spirits. Okay? So let's recite together. Those of you who has a Dharma book, blue Dharma book, so this one. Those of you who have this one, please take up the book and recite together with us. Those of you who don't have, please read the screen. This one. Okay? So this is a prayer especially dedicated to you and your guardian spirit. Are you ready? Let's do it. You follow me. I say prayer to guardian and guardian spirit. Then recite together. Alright? Good. Prayer to guardian and guiding spirit. My guardian and guiding spirits, deep inside of me, you are the fountain of life, the light of hope, the source of wisdom, and a shield of courage. Every day, may you help me develop my soul and refine my mind. Every day, may you give me inspiration and show me the right path to follow. Please protect me from all evil and guide me in living a better life. For this, I give my thanks. Okay. So now you have a contract with your guardian spirit to protect you. Okay. So let's move to the Master's guidance. Meditation to melting gold. Let's follow his instruction.
There are many sick people in the audience, so I would like to conduct a meditation to receive heavenly light. The effect may vary depending on your understanding of the truth, but I would like to send you light. While in meditation, please open your heart and receive the light. Now please put your hands together in prayer. I will not be asking you anything difficult. Please put your hands in prayer. Close your eyes lightly. Close your eyes very lightly. Imagine that there is a chunk of golden butter on top of your head. Please imagine a stick of golden butter setting on the top of your head. Now, the light of God is shining towards you from the heavenly world, and you can feel the butter slowly melting down. It melts and soaks into your entire body. The golden butter that is on top of your head is gradually melting, and little by little, drops of the golden liquid are falling onto you. Your hair, your scalp, your skull, and into your brain. Then it infiltrates into your eyes, nose, ears, mouth, throat, shoulders, arms, then into your lungs, bronchi, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, kidneys, liver, and to your other organs. Please feel this golden butter melting and permeating into your body. Your entire body is slowly becoming covered with this golden butter. Your body will start to feel very warm. This golden light is reaching every single part of your body. The golden butter is now reaching your belly, to your waist, then to the thighs, calves, toes, to each fingertip, including the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. This melted golden butter is now infiltrating into your entire body. It is permeating throughout your body. If you look inside your body, each and every one of the cells that make up your body is being drenched by this golden liquid. Please feel this. Please feel that each and every one of your cells is starting to shine in gold. Just as all the black pieces on a checkerboard are turned over and made white. Please picture this in your mind, that each and every one of your cells is turning into gold. You are now embraced by light. Your whole body is embraced by God's light. Allow your entire body to be completely bathed in this light. Please let this golden light permeate deeply into your cells. Please banish all evil from your body. Now you are completely covered by the golden light of God. Each and every one of your cells is completely covered. Each of your cells is now trying to radiate a golden light. They are shining brilliantly in gold. No evil cells are able to stay inside your body. These evil cells are not made by God, but by the mistaken commands of your subconsciousness. They were trying to create illness in your body. Those cells are mistakenly trying to create illness. Correct your thinking. You are a child of God, and you are always loved by God. All your sins have already been forgiven. All sins have been forgiven, and your remaining life is to be used to create a Buddha land utopia on earth. Your life is precious time that you must spend to serve the world and other people. Your health is now coming back for you to live such precious time. Nothing can stop this flow. From today on, you have no choice but to become healthy. Your physical body will awaken and become healthy. Your mind will awaken and become healthy. all your stress will leave you, and everything will be embraced by the light of great harmony. You are in this light of great harmony, and you are now receiving this beautiful light as a shining child of God. This is how heaven is. There are no illnesses in heaven. There are no sick people in heaven. There is no cancer or other diseases in heaven. Everyone is happy. There is not a single area that is wrong with your body. You cannot bring back your illness after you die. So you are essentially free. That is because you are living in love, and you are making efforts to love and nurture many people. If there is anyone whom you hate, please forgive them right now. Please send your love to that person as well. Please love that person. Please reconcile with that person. Please pray for the happiness of that person. If you have committed any sin in the past, please repent it to God, and pledge that from now on you will change your mind and live a truthful life. Then, the illness that you have invited will have no choice but to disappear from within you. From today on, you have no choice but to be splendid. Your health should not be for your own happiness alone. When you become healthy, you will take concrete actions to save people around you, to help the many people you will meet. So, your happiness will lead to the happiness of the world. O Lord, please forgive our sins. O Lord, please give us light. O Lord, please make us healthy. O Lord, please give us happiness. Please open a future for us. Please quietly pray like this for a while. Thank you very much. Please put your hands down. This is the first time that we have practiced this kind of meditation. You are now spiritually connected with the angels who